Yo, welcome back to the channel. Shout out to you guys. We just passed 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for your support. I knew that we would finally get there, or I was hoping that we would, and you guys came through for me. So thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. I can't believe that we've already hit 1,000 subscribers. Our goal in the beginning of this year was only 100 whenever we first started this channel. So that is a pretty amazing thing to me, honestly. So thank you guys for your support. Now let's hop into this video. Today, we're actually gonna be going a little bit lower in the GTI. So I've actually already gone ahead and lowered the rears, but we are now working on the fronts. So in the rears, if you guys run BC Racing coilovers on your GTI, you might have experienced this as well. I don't know if it was a quality control issue or what it was, but the passenger rear side seems to sit a little bit lower than the driver's side whenever they're both fully maxed out. So we had to go in there, do a little bit of a customization or whatnot to just try and mitigate that and even them both out, but to get them equally as low. And so we went on ahead, we finished up that yesterday, and now we're just working on the front. We're doing a little bit of sanding work on these carbon fiber fenders on the inside of them, just to work on some clearance. But then we're about to lower the passenger side up front, and we'll be finished, give you guys a final look of what this actually looks like all finished and lowered down. So hopefully you guys enjoy. All right, so I don't know if you'll be able to tell. I will try and find a picture to compare, but we have lowered the rears now. They are sitting a decent amount lower. We're definitely tucking a decent amount of tire. We're trying to make that front up there match it a little bit more. We've already gone ahead and lowered this side. We just have not rolled the car, so it hasn't fully set where it's going to. We're about to pop over to the passenger side and lower that side, and then we will give it a little roll and see how it looks, see if we need to lower it anymore, give it a test drive, make sure that we're not scraping or anything like that, and we will see what we can do. Alright, so I know it's been a little while since you guys have seen under the hood. For any new subscribers, it's pretty simple right now. All we have is basically full turbo back, I should say. We do have a Catless downpipe right there. We've got upgraded coil packs, quarter step spark plugs, cold air intake, little secondary air intake down there. And that is really it right now, aside from obviously we do have a blacked out front mount intercooler, so actually I guess it's not that obvious anymore. So we do have all that, as well as, I don't know if you'll be able to see right back there, we do have a CTS Turbo Inlet pipe as well. But that is basically everything that is done under the hood at the moment, and definitely more things to come. But in the meantime, let's keep on tweaking the suspension, which is why we have this hood popped up. So we're just gonna go over here and we're going to set these all the way to the hardest setting since we're doing our test drive. I don't want to, you know, figure out the wrong way or figure out the hard way. So I'm going ahead and loosen or tighten these all the way up, which right here are dampeners, as you guys can see. But yeah, we're just gonna tighten these all the way, set it on the hardest stiffness, and then just put this back right there. Boom. Need our clip. Boom. So we've got that all set up nice, just how it should be. Let me actually steal this clip and remove it. So I actually just stole the clip from right up inside of there, and we're gonna put it over here just because I don't know exactly what happened to this one, but it's gone. So I don't know if that happened back whenever I did lowering springs or if it happened whenever I did my coilovers, but either way, this clip right here is gone. So we are just gonna be putting this one in place of it. Let me sit down you guys real fast. Boom, nice and good. So we've got our dampers set all the way to max stiffness. Pull out our hood strut right here. So this does not stay in here. It can, I just choose not to. I think that it puts a little bit too much flex on this hood in my opinion, so I just pop this off every time and just throw it inside the car. I'll show you guys where I actually stash this in case anyone's in a similar situation. You can literally keep it right here beside the sliding rail of your seat. So you just set it right here, slide it back, and it'll set right there. It stays perfectly still, it won't come out, you have to pull it out. So that's where I keep that. until we get something else situated. I might just get one of those manual props or whatever, but I'm really looking to try and find that same hydraulic just a little bit weaker, so that way it doesn't it's not quite as strong pressing on the hood and flexing it. So we've got the car lowered now, and we are about to go do a little test drive. Before we do that though, we need to put a little bit more E85 in the tank and go fill up. So that's our 2 gallons of E85 in there. Now we just need to run up the street to the gas station, put some 93 in here to top us off, and then we'll be able to do our little test drive. All right, so we just got our gas. Now we're about to just head on the road a little bit, just take a short little route around, you know, somewhat of windy roads, and just see how the car feels, make sure that we're not rubbing or anything like that, and we will be good to go. Just this little like 300-foot drive over to the gas station, no rubbing or anything like that, but we will see how this drive goes. So let's hop right out here on this road. All right, and we're off. So just pulling out right there, everything feels good so far. Honestly, I don't expect any rubbing or anything like that. I think that we should be okay. I went on ahead, did a good bit of sanding and stuff like that. If we do rub, it's gonna be on pretty big bumps. So we will see where we're rubbing, and then we will adjust from there. So let's go ahead, just continue on with this drive, and hopefully everything turns out okay. All right, so we've been driving now for a couple minutes, and so far so good. Nothing has scraped, we haven't heard any noises or anything like that. Obviously, the rear suspension is really what I was more worried about, just because we did kind of, I guess you would say, break the rules. I mean, we didn't modify it the exact way that you're supposed to do it. We removed collars. I will show you that whenever we get back to the house on exactly what I did to the rear to make it sit evenly. If you're running BC Racing coilovers, you will probably have experienced this. I heard that it's the case with almost everyone that I've talked to with them, and that is that the rear passenger side sits a little bit lower than the driver's rear side. So to mitigate that and to eliminate that, rather than just raising the passenger side, because I liked how low it was, what I did is I went in and actually removed some of the lock collars off of the spring perch, and that evened it out perfectly. And it also gave me that little bit extra drop on the driver's side that I was looking for. We now have that all dialed in and everything like that. The rear, or the front, is obviously what we just did today, and it seems good so far. I haven't had any scraping or anything like that. Let's see here, take this turn. No scraping, even on kind of a bumpy one. Everything feels absolutely perfect. I don't have any complaints right now. Absolutely as it should feel. And we also did loosen the rear as far as stiffness. We made it a little bit softer on that damping, and so right now in the rear we are running 21 out of 30 is our setting, 30 being the stiffest setting. So that is our setup for the rear right now, and in the front we are running a 30 out of 30 setting right now, just to make sure that everything you know, stays in one piece. And now for the front, it's obviously not going to be a permanent setting as far as the height that we have right now. We actually are still waiting on our bigger tires, so we're waiting on wider tires, and our aspect ratio will actually be going down. I think our tire sidewall will be a little bit thinner, so we're gonna have to keep that in mind whenever we throw the new wheels, or the new tires on the wheels, I should say. And whenever we do that, we're probably gonna have to go back in and lower the fronts just a little bit more, just that way we get that nice look. And also, if we can get a minor rake towards the front, it'll actually help some with traction. So I don't like an aggressive rake towards the front at all. I'm not a big fan of that, especially on a GTI. You know, you put it on some old big body muscle car, go for it. But on this car, it's not my taste in particular. So we're just going to be tweaking a little bit in the future, but for the meantime, this is how she'll sit, and I think that she's sitting perfect, honestly. Looks a little bit better to me, and also honestly feels a little bit better. I know that whenever you guys lower your car, you absolutely know what I'm talking about whenever I'm saying that lower center of gravity feels better. It helps with the overall handling feel. And don't get me wrong, we didn't lower it much, only about a ½ inch in the rear and about a ½ inch in the front, to be honest, maybe closer to 1 inch on both, but either way, not a ton. So that's what we've got going on for right now. Alright, so if you look right up in here at that spring perch right here, let's see if we can get this to focus, you can see there is no locking rings on that spring perch right there. And the spring is being held in perfectly tight by just the compression of the car with how low it is sitting. And then let me show you, that was the driver's side, and then I'll show you this rear passenger side where we have one still in there. You can see that one is still right there, and that is to make these two sides sit evenly. So basically what I chose to do was to remove one off this side and both of them off the other. But what you could do is just remove one off the driver's side, and that would also work and solve the issue of the passenger side sitting lower than the driver's side. As you can see, this rear is sitting pretty low now, and it's definitely tucking a decent amount of tire, and it's actually matching on both sides, which is awesome. And up front, you can see right here, we are pretty low. We're barely tucking tire up top, but not anything too crazy, just enough to make it look nice. And we do still have new tires coming in that are going to be a different sidewall size. So whenever that comes in, we'll have to do a little bit more tweaking. But as for now, that is how it will be sitting. And you can see right here, the front lip is pretty high off the ground, honestly. It's not that low. I'd say we probably have 5 to 6 inches of clearance on there. So it's definitely not too bad. And then we'll show you guys what this side of the car looks like. You won't be able to see it as well because of the sun, but we are also tucking just a little bit of tire up front right there and tucking quite a bit back there in the rear as well. So that is the current suspension setup for right now. I personally am quite a fan of it. It's not rubbing or scrubbing, anything like that. We've taken it on a little bit of driving. This is now day 2. We started this video yesterday, so did a little bit extra driving with it, and everything feels absolutely great so far, and in my opinion looks great as well. Alright, so that's basically going to be the end of today's video. I really do appreciate you tuning in. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I know that it was something a little bit different, but then again, right along with what we normally do. I mean, it's revolved around the GTI, so what's different about that? Either way, let me start off by saying thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your support in getting me to 1,000 subscribers. It's an unbelievable number to me, and I can't believe that we actually reached it. So thank you so much for your support. I'm really excited to see where we can take this channel, but either way, I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I hope that you might have found some things in here a little bit useful for you, and I hope to see you tuning back in for the next one. Either way, hope you have a good one, and I'll see you next time.